Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, May 8th, 2022. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. If you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below with what your baseball picks are for Sunday's games. Now, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at pickdawgz.com at the Premium Picks tab. I'm running a daily $15 MLB best bet, so you can check that out at Pick Dawgz Premium. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, May 8th. First up, we see the Boston Red Sox hosting the Chicago White Sox with Michael Wacha and Dallas Keuchel as your projected starters. Now, these are two guys that I really wasn't expecting much from this season, but I got to admit, Michael Wacha has impressed this year. A 1.38 ERA, 0.92 WHIP this season. You know, the strikeout numbers are down a little bit, but so are the home runs and walks allowed, which is something you want to see. You know, Keuchel, on the other hand, an 8.4 ERA. When I see an ERA that high, I immediately take a deeper look at the numbers and say, you know, is this pitcher getting a little bit unlucky, or are they pitching that poorly? You know, Keuchel, 4.8 Ks per nine with a 6.6 walks per nine, so he's allowing more walks than he's earned strikeouts. That scares me right off the bat. And then 1.8 home runs per nine allowed also scares me quite a bit. So I think the Red Sox are the play here, especially having a righty on the mound. The White Sox have done a lot better against lefties this season. They've also played a lot better at home this year at Guaranteed Rate Field. So give me the Red Sox on the money line. Next up, we see a doubleheader between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, like I've mentioned before, you know, these doubleheader games, we could see a lot of pitching changes. So make sure you're checking your websites and see the most updated information. But right now, we see Game 1 as the starters of Chris Bassett and Zach Eflin. And then in Game 2, we should see Max Scherzer and Kyle Gibson, but these could certainly change. Now, in Game 1, if these are the starters, I do like the Mets here fading Zach Eflin. You know, the Mets got to Eflin quite a bit in that last start that they faced him in. He gave up 6 runs total, 5 earned runs, 8 base hits, 4 1/3 innings. It was a 10-6 Phillies loss. And with how poorly the Phillies bullpen has looked as of late, and I think the Mets are going to be able to score plenty in that one. And in Game 2, it's really hard not to take Mad Max Scherzer, especially at the price that we're probably going to be getting with them when they were supposed to play this game on Saturday. We saw the price around -140 with the Mets on the money line. And I think if that's the price you're getting in Game 2 here, I think it's worth a shot with Mad Max. You know, I know the Phillies got to him a little bit in that start, but you know, he's still on a fantastic pace this season with his new club, striking out batters left and right, and I think he has another strong outing here. So I'm going to take the Mets in both games with a doubleheader here, both of them on the money line. In our next game, we see the Texas Rangers taking on the New York Yankees. This will be another doubleheader as these two teams have their first 2 games postponed due to weather. Now, in Game 1, we should see John Gray and Garrett Cole, and then in Game 2, Dane Dunning and Jordan Montgomery. In Game 1, I think the Yankees roll here. You know, the Rangers have struggled quite a bit against right-handed pitching. Garrett Cole has looked a lot sharper in his last few starts than he did in the beginning of the season. We've seen Cole pitch 12 2/3 in his last 2 outings of shutout baseball with 15 strikeouts, no home runs allowed, obviously, and only 3 walks surrendered. Also, he is pitching his best ball, and John Gray with that 7.5 ERA, I do think he is in trouble here against the Yankees bats that have been top 10 against righties this season in team OPS. Now, in Game 2, I think the Rangers are able to compete a little bit more. You know, the Rangers hit lefties very well this season. Jordan Montgomery, not a guy that I like to back too often. Texas right now, number 5 in the league in team OPS against lefties. Dane Dunning, you know, not my favorite option on the mound for the Rangers, but I do think he can at least keep the Rangers in this game. It's really tough to sweep a doubleheader, and I think at worst the Rangers at least cover this run line in Game 2. So I'm going to take the Yankees on the run line in Game 1 and take the Rangers on the run line in Game 2. Hey, another doubleheader. What do you know? Between the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore Orioles. Game 1, we should expect to see Daniel Lynch and Tyler Wells. Game 2, Bruce Zimmerman and Zach Greinke. These could certainly change before first pitch. Now, in Game 1, I do think we're going to see a lower scoring game. The Royals have been one of the weaker lineups in baseball overall this season, both against righties and lefties. Tyler Wells, you know, his first outing of the year, he gave up 4 earned runs to the Rays, but ever since that start, he's pitched a lot better. Last time out, he only gave up 1 earned run in 5 innings against the Twins. He's faced some tough lineups, the Yankees twice, the Twins, the Rays. So I think he has a strong outing here against the Royals. On the other side, Daniel Lynch is another guy. Struggled in his first outing of the year, but he's pitched a lot better as of late, and he's pitched against some tough lineups as well. The Cardinals, Twins, White Sox, and Yankees. The Orioles are ranked 29th in baseball in team OPS against lefties, The Royals in the mid-20s themselves in team OPS against righties. I think we have an under in Game 1. And then in Game 2, I'm just going to continue to fade Zach Greinke. Bruce Zimmerman has been very sharp on the mound this year. I think he's the much better starter. I think the Orioles' bats are a lot better also. So give me the Orioles in Game 2. So the under in Game 1 and the Orioles money line in Game 2. In our next matchup, we see the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Atlanta Braves. Aaron Ashby and Charlie Morton going at it here. So we have a younger pitcher going up against a veteran in Charlie Morton. And Morton has just not been in good form this season. 6.85 ERA. The strikeout numbers are well down. 18 Ks in 23 2/3 innings. The walks are way up. He's allowed 7 walks in his last 8 innings of work. We've seen him had some issues with the home run ball as well this season. He hasn't been able to pitch too deep into games. In fact, he hasn't been able to pitch 6 innings at all this season. All of his starts, 5 2/3 or less. Ashby has been sharp for the Brewers this year. He's got 22 strikeouts in 19 1/3 innings, a 2.33 ERA. I'd like to see him limit those walks, but hasn't had too many issues with the long ball. He's only given up 1 home run this season. I think the Brewers are going to win this game. I think they're playing the much better baseball right now. So give me Milwaukee on the money line on the road. We're getting plus money here. Next up, we see the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tyler Mahle and Zach Thompson are your starters here. Finally, the Reds were able to put that losing streak to rest. And I do like their chances in this game on Sunday afternoon. Tyler Mahle, a 7.01 ERA, obviously not what you want to see, but I still think that Mahle is the best option that the Reds have right now in their rotation. And Zach Thompson has really struggled in 2022. A guy that I had a lot of expectations for this season. He just hasn't shown it at all. Only 13 Ks in 15 1/3 innings. He's given up at least 1 home run in 4 of his 5 starts this year. A 2.22 whip, giving up a ton of base hits, a lot of walks as well. He hasn't been able to pitch more than 4 1/3 innings all season long, and I think the Reds bats get to him. So give me the Reds on the money line here. Next up, we see the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Now, I have mentioned before that the Guardians, I usually like to take them when they're facing a right-handed pitcher and we're getting a really good price because the Guardians have done such a good job against righties this season. They are facing a righty in Alek Manoah here, but I don't think he's the right righty to take or to fade in this spot. 4-0 with a 1.45 ERA, 32 strikeouts in 31 innings, a .84 whip this season. He has been special for the Blue Jays, their best option in the rotation currently. And with the Guardians not really having a starting pitcher locked down for this contest, I really don't trust their bullpen here against the Blue Jays lineup that we're starting to see heat up quite a bit as of late. So give me the Blue Jays here on the money line on the road. Next up, we see the Detroit Tigers taking on the Houston Astros. Now, with Jake Odorizzi on the mound here, I think the Tigers are certainly a live dog in this spot. We've seen them cover the run line in every game this series, and every game this series has also been a 3-2 final score. So I think that we could certainly see another 1-run game or even a Tigers outright win in this spot. Odorizzi only 4.98 strikeouts per 9. His K numbers are way down. We saw in 2019 he had double-digit strikeouts per 9 in an all-star season. And ever since that year, his strikeout numbers have gone down, his walk numbers have gone up, and therefore his ERA has gone up as well. And 4.15 ERA with a 5.2 xFIP this season. I think the Tigers, they're very weak lineup this year for the most part. Not really, they're actually dead last in the league in slugging percentage, but they can get on base. And against Odorizzi, I think they do enough damage offensively to keep this game close, if not win it. So give me the Tigers on the run line here, getting the 1.5 runs. Next up, we see the Oakland Athletics taking on the Minnesota Twins. Chris Paddock and Dalton Jeffries are your starters. Now, in this game, we saw 2 very low-scoring contests in the first 2 games of the series. 1-0 on Saturday, 2-1 on Friday. Twins were able to win both of those games, but I don't know if I want to lay the run line right now with the current state of this Twins lineup. They're missing Luis Arraez very much so in the lineup right now. He has got COVID, so he's going to be out for a little bit, and the Twins just haven't been able to generate much offense. Dalton Jeffries isn't my favorite option on the mound for the A's, 4.81 ERA, but his expected numbers, a 4.33 expected ERA and a 4.23 FIP, are promising. He's limited walks, he's limited home runs. He just hasn't missed a lot of bats, not a lot of strikeouts this year. But on the other side, Chris Paddock has pitched really well as of late, 11 innings. He's only given up 2 earned runs in his last 2 outings combined with 9 strikeouts last 2 starts. And he's facing an Oakland A's lineup that's ranked 30th in the league, dead last in baseball in team OPS against righties, 28th in the league in slugging percentage against righties. So I think we have another very low-scoring game on our hands here. I lean towards the Twins on the run line and on the side here, but I'm going to take the under in A's Minnesota. Next up, we see the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the San Francisco Giants. We're going to see Carlos Rodon and Dakota Hudson as the projected starters here, but there's no official line out yet for this game, so we could see a pitching change late. But if these are the starters that go, I think we're going to probably get a good price with the Cardinals because Rodon is on the mound for the Giants, and I do think there is a lot of value with St. Louis here. I'm going to take him on the money line. Carlos Rodon, last time out, he earned the loss for the Giants. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. It wasn't too bad of a performance, but his bats were not able to back him up. And we've seen that as of late from San Francisco. The offense has been a little bit inconsistent. Dakota Hudson on the mound for the Cardinals, not my favorite option on the mound for St. Louis in that rotation, but he doesn't give up a ton of home runs, and I think he's going to keep his team competitive here. The Cardinals are number 1 in baseball in team OPS against lefties, number 1 in baseball in slugging percentage against lefties. They have done a great job against left-handed pitching, and that's what they're going to get here in Carlos Rodon. Give me the Cardinals on the money line in this spot. Next up, we see the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Washington Nationals. We're going to see Eric Fedde and Patrick Sandoval as your starters here. Now, for me, this one's simple. I'm just going to take the Angels on the run line or just pass altogether. The Angels, they have done well against right-handed pitching this season. They're, in fact, number 1 in baseball in team OPS against righties this year. The Nationals lineup, we've seen it pick it up a little bit as of late, especially in that Coors Field series with the Rockies. We saw the Nationals start to score some runs, but then shut out on Friday night against the Angels. And I don't trust this bullpen, and Fedde, I think, is in trouble in this spot. Fedde pitched well at Coors Field in his last outing, but he still had some issues with the home runs and the walks surrendered this year, and his strikeout numbers aren't as high as where I thought they would be. Only 22 Ks in 25 innings. I was really optimistic about Patrick Sandoval for the Angels this year, and he has definitely performed. 1.29 ERA thus far. I think he has another strong outing here, and I'm going to lay the run line with the Angels in this spot. Next up, we see the Colorado Rockies taking on the Cash Cows and the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have been great as the underdog role, but in this series, we've seen them as the favorites in the first 3 games of this set, and that's because their starting pitching has been fantastic, and we see another one of their strong starters on the mound, Zach Gallen, going up against German Marquez. Marquez, he was the ace for this Rockies rotation last year and going into this season, but 6.92 ERA this season. The strikeout numbers are way, way down for him. 19 Ks in 26 innings of work, a 1.69 whip this year. Coming off a start against the Nationals, I know it was at Coors Field, but he gave up 10 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs as well in 5 innings. And the previous start on the road, not at Coors Field, 7 hits, 7 runs, 4 of them were earned, only 1 strikeout in 3 2/3 innings. He just hasn't pitched well no matter where he's been this season. And for me, Diamondbacks, one of the stronger teams in the league. They don't do a lot offensively in terms of getting on base, but they do have a lot of power hitters on this club, on this lineup. So I think they get the job done. I think they hit a few home runs on Marquez. I think Gallen has another strong outing. So give me the Diamondbacks at home on the money line. Next up, we see the Miami Marlins taking on the San Diego Padres with Trevor Rogers and Joe Musgrove on the mound for this contest. Now, we have 2 starters that are really in different directions right now. Trevor Rogers, great season in 2021 with the Marlins, but 2022 has not been his friend this season. 6.14 ERA. He's coming off a start where he gave up 2 home runs and 5 earned runs against the Diamondbacks, 4 in the 3rd innings. He's facing a Padres lineup that's top 10 in baseball in team OPS against lefties this season. They're also 7th in baseball in slugging percentage against lefties. And Joe Musgrove on the other side, he's been fantastic for San Diego. 4-0 with a 1.97 ERA, 33 strikeouts in 32 innings, a .91 whip. Coming off a 7-inning, 1-run performance against the Pirates, where he had earned 8 strikeouts. And in all 5 games he's pitched this season, his team has covered the run line. They've won each game by more than 2 runs. So I like the Padres here. I'm not going to take them on the run line. I'm just going to take them on the money line in this spot. Next up, we see the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Seattle Mariners. Ryan Yarbrough and Chris Flexen as your starters here. Now, these are 2 starters that I really do not have much confidence in whatsoever. Chris Flexen does have a 3.1 ERA, but I don't think that's going to last for much longer. 17 strikeouts in 29 innings of work. He's had issues with the walks this year. He's given up at least 1 home run in 3 of his first 5 outings this season, but he did pitch well against this Rays lineup. 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs only allowed, with 4 strikeouts in that one. And Ryan Yarbrough, he had a big issue with the free passes last outing, his first start of the season. So we can give him some of the benefit of the doubt, but 3 walks allowed in 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 5 earned runs and a home run to the Athletics. And now against the Mariners, the team that leads the league in walk percentage against lefties this season. I think he's in trouble yet again. I think Chris Flexen is the slightly better option on the mound here, so I'm going to take the Mariners on the money line at home. In our final game of the night, we see the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Chicago Cubs. This will be your Sunday Night Baseball contest on ESPN. Walker Buehler and Marcus Stroman are your starters here. Now, Walker Buehler, I was a little bit worried about him after his first few starts of the season. The strikeout numbers were down a little bit, and I did have my concerns, but he's really proved me wrong in the last 2 outings. And April 25th, 9 innings shutout baseball, complete game shutout against the Diamondbacks with 10 strikeouts. And last time out, 5 innings of shutout ball with 5 strikeouts against the Tigers. Now, I know the Diamondbacks and the Tigers are pretty weak lineups overall, but so are the Cubs as of late. The Cubs offense has really gone dry in recent games, recent series, and I don't think it's going to get any easier against Buehler in this spot. On the other side, Marcus Stroman's had his fair share of struggles, a 5.13 ERA, but only 1 time this season has he given up a run in the first inning. He's pitched 5 times, 4 of those times, no runs in the first inning. You guys know where I'm going. I'm going to take the nerfy no-run first inning in the Chicago Cubs Los Angeles Dodgers ballgame. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday, May 8th. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. If you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.